It's time for Youth Kit on Lotus FM. Let's get into the minds, ambitions and talents of South Africa's youngest masterminds.
Let's go.
It's 10:15 here on Lotus FM, and it's time for Youth Kit. Joining us live on Facebook and in studio is Merilene Chitrai, a Phoenix-based architectural technologist and spiritual eco-activist dedicated to youth peace building and interfaith service. Through local and global community initiatives, she champions upliftment and environmental stewardship. As a host of the Mindful Conversationalist podcast, Merilene explores spirituality, leadership and mental well-being to spark profound global change. Now, her multifaceted work seamlessly blends professional expertise with a passion for conscious living, ultimately striving to inspire ethical leadership and mindful action worldwide. Merilene, hello, welcome to Lotus FM. How are you doing?
Hi, Ravash. I'm well, thank you. How are you?
I'm great, thank you for asking me. It's so nice to see you after a very long time.
Yes, I'm so happy to be here and see you again as well.
Yeah, that's great. Well, you're here for a different reason today because, hey, from the last time we met to now, you have actually opened your own podcast, which is amazing.
Yes, thank you.
So what inspired you, Merilene, to start the Mindful Conversationalist podcast, and what gap did you feel was missing in the way we communicate today?
So, Ravash, at the time when I started the podcast, I was really tired of seeing so much negativity in the world, and especially online, on social media. And so, especially on war and conflict, and negativity sells, right? So, and in my own life, in the last 13 years, I've met such amazing, inspirational people in the interfaith space, from religious leaders to spiritual people, even to peacemakers and change makers. And what I really want to do is that I wanted to capture those stories and share it with the world, share the ideologies around peace building, what people are doing on the ground at community level. And these stories are meant to be meaningful. So we sit down, we talk to each other, we reflect, we share, and it becomes like something that's more reflective. And that's the gap that I was seeing, that in this world, everything is so fast-paced, reactive, and on surface level, but people are always consuming information, and there's a lot of information out there, and people are just consuming, but do we really stop, listen, and reflect, and really understand, so that we can come up with our own purpose, around identity and how we live, and reflect on ideologies. And so this can change the community and the way we see things.
And that is absolutely and incredibly kind of you, because you went out there into the world and you've met these spiritual people, and you said to yourself, there's so much of value in these conversations. So you didn't want to keep it for yourself. You said, let me interview them, let me take it out to the public and share that knowledge with them so that they too can be much more spiritually and environmentally conscious.
Yes, but also these stories get to the rest of the world.
That's it, right? Now, your podcast explores spirituality, leadership, and even human connection in a very fast-paced digital world. But Merilene, why do you think that these deeper conversations matter now more than ever before?
Well, you see, we are living in a time where we may be connected, but internally we are disconnected, right? And on my podcast, you will see I explore teachings Tadatmya Vedanta and oneness Ek Onkar by the Sikh philosophy and many others. And we understand that we are interconnected. But in reality, many people are isolated and overwhelmed. And you can see that people are constantly stimulated by social media, and it's not always grounded, right? You're spending so much time on your phone for hours watching just things that has no value to you.
Yeah.
And for your thought consciousness, right? So these conversations, as I said, cause a space to pause and reflect and reconnect. But it's about listening to people's journeys, connecting with them on a deeper level. And it's not about debating either. It's not about proving a point. It's actually about just exploring ideas, understanding different perspectives on how we could live more consciously and responsibly.
Just listening to you right now, I feel as if we are doing a podcast. We are going to be taking a short ad break. More with the modern day podcaster, Miss Meroline Chitrai. When we come back, please do stay with us. This is Lotus FM.
Two great national teams.
CBC Plus and CBC 3 with report on SABC radio stations. Proudly brought to you by SABC Sport.
Hope you're enjoying the conversations.
The 21 minutes after 10 o'clock, and we are on the Youth Kit feature. We are in conversation with the host of the Mindful Conversationalist podcaster, Miss Meroline Chitrai. Now, Meroline, are you enjoying your experience so far?
Yes, I am. It's lovely being in the studio.
Yeah, it's so cool, right?
It is. It's very cool.
Now, Meroline, you've had conversations with, you mentioned earlier, spiritual leaders, some youth voices, and even global thinkers. But what moments or conversations that shifted something within you so personally that you can share with us as a young youth?
Well, that's a tough one, Ravash, because I've had many conversations so far, and they were around many different topics. But each one touched me in a very deeper level, because it put me in a space of learning, right? And trying to understand what they're saying. So it reminded me that, we must always remain to be students of life, continuously learning towards transformation and growth. And for me, I'm not going to mention the names because everyone can go on my YouTube channel and see the conversations, but there were things on freedom of religion and belief. There were conversations around Gandhi's life with his granddaughter. I had conversations with spiritual leaders on service, what it means to serve, sacred leadership, what it means to be a servant leader in today's world. And even there were conversations on I had a conversation with a bishop who's in Palestine, and he was going through so many challenges in his community, but he shared about how he tries to bring peace in his part of his country.
That is beautiful. South Africa, what you are listening to is a youngster here in South Africa that went over and beyond. She had opened up her own podcast because she had many great experiences with leaders of the world, and she wanted to bring that valuable information to you through a podcast. Now, Meroline, many young people today are searching for meaning and direction. But what are you noticing about this generation, and how do your conversations help them to navigate on certain challenges in the world?
So I see a generation that's deeply aware, but also overwhelmed. And they are navigating their identity, expectations, pressure, and constant digital presence. And so what the podcast offer is a space where they can hear real conversations and realize that they're not alone, and it's there to inspire them so that by hearing these stories, they can step into their own purpose.
Definitely. Yeah. We are live on Facebook. Please go on over there and say hello to Meroline. Now, Meroline, what's your best advice to fellow youth out there who are also wanting to, like you, open their own podcast one day?
So I would say it's hard work, right? I'm not one of those podcasters who has money to, go the extra mile to create something fantastic like how the others are or influencers. But I started small. My laptop, my Zoom, learning how to navigate the space, arranging conversations, coming up with the questions, understanding what is it that you want to convey to the public, what do you want people to hear, and what change and transformation you want to happen, and what perspectives you want to give people. Because there's many podcasters out there, and there's a lot of conversations, but you have to be very specific of what change you want to make that's positive in today's society.
And it's also relevant to what your podcast wants to achieve, right?
Yes.
But at its core then, your podcast isn't just about content. So what kind of inner or societal shifts are you hoping that these conversations can create?
Well, I'm hoping that it encourages people to live more consciously and with intention. And if one person listens to a conversation and they begin to think differently and more consciously and live with more compassion, that's already impact for me. Right? And on a societal level, I hope it contributes to a shift in leadership. And, it changes leadership from a power-driven one to a service one. And people can have just deeper understanding about these conversations that we have.
Nice, I like that. So what are some of the upcoming themes or conversations that you're most excited to explore moving forward?
So I have one that's going to be released very soon.
Nice.
It's about a youth leadership. He's a junior mayor of Cape Town, and he's a young boy who's doing amazing things in the society. And I have a couple of conversations coming up on artificial intelligence. I've already had one, but I'm also involved in other, podcasts, architectural ones, and including webinars on interfaith peace building and stuff. So everyone can find this on my social media pages if they just Google my name and follow me, and they'll have more connections to these podcasts and links to them. Yeah.
Great. It's also Freedom Month. And what does freedom mean to you, very quickly, Marilyn?
Oh, freedom. That's a good one. I think for me, it's freedom of thought, conscious, and belief. Although we have a right to freely choose how we live, believe, and think, it comes with responsibility. That's why I call it the mindful conversationalist. It's about being mindful in these conversations, because whatever you say to the public, you have a responsibility as well.
There we go. I like that. Now the big question, Marilyn, what is your podcast called? What are your social media handles? Where do we find you?
So you can just Google my name, Merylene Chitray.
Spell for us.
Meryllene, and my surname Chitray, Chitharai. I've got a YouTube channel, and I've got the podcast channel, which is called the Mindful Conversationalist. You can find it on YouTube. And I'm on Twitter and Instagram and Facebook. And
so are these podcasts going to be up on TikTok?
I haven't explored TikTok platform yet.
That'll be so cool if you do, huh? Think about that.
I have to think about that. It's hard work, right? So, and there's many platforms, so you're trying to navigate as many as you can. But yeah, that's a good one. I'll think about that one.
Well, Marilyn, thank you very much for joining us. It really has been such a treat having you in the studio today, and thank you for sharing your journey, aims, mission, and vision through your podcast in the hopes of, world peace. Now, we will be on the lookout for some of your more great work on your podcast channel, so have yourself a pleasant weekend, all right?
Thank you so much. I truly appreciate it.
You're more than welcome. Bye-bye.
Bye.